Time for a quick debrief on day 5. Got some interesting developments in the plot that we need to talk about. The most important thing overall is that we wondered some time ago, would Jessica eventually turn the corner? It's a neat little idiom that we use for making a shift forward or making improvement. I think she personally, she seems to think of that more as a running metaphor because she thinks of everything in terms of running. Turning the corner, coming into the straightaway, is something a little more literal to her life and metaphorical for how she was feeling. But again, it's an idiom in our culture, and she also uses that great metaphor of passing the baton again because of how she thinks as a runner. And she sees her mom is exhausted, and it's time for her to take over. So that is a really great step forward. She's showering, which is not just getting clean, but really represents her wanting to take care of herself, which is a nice step forward from about a week of just kind of being angry. I'm not judging. We would all be angry and upset and disheartened, but this is the sign that she's starting to move past that initial phase of just being overwhelmed by what was happening and all that she had lost. She's going out, which is a huge step forward. And of course, you can see how excited Fiona is. Fiona is her best friend and completely understands what this means. And even then, asking about school, asking about track, things that she wants to hear about but doesn't want to hear about. And Fiona realizes this means she's starting to think about rejoining society. And so you see the excitement in her friend there. And there's still that ambivalence in Jessica, the positive and the negative, but it's leaning more positive now, right? She's not sure she's ready, but she's ready to try. She's overwhelmed, but in a good way. And you're starting to see her face the things that she's afraid of hearing about or knowing about or even talking about in some cases. And this is all really good. And I hope you're as excited as I am that she's making some progress. It wasn't fun watching her be angry and upset and push everybody away, but that's reality. That is how people respond to things. There's always a phase of why me and kind of sulking and groaning and being depressed. And hopefully there's then other phases where we move ahead. I do want to point out one thing that's less a literature English class thing and more of a life thing. You notice Jessica looks back at her mother as she and Fiona are heading off to have lunch, and her mom is having a moment, and it's a trigger. You've heard that, oh, that triggers me. We use it very lightheartedly sometimes, but people who have experienced great tragedy, they often have significant triggers, things that remind them of that event can really send off a sort of an attack. And I think mom was having a shaky moment because, as Jessica figured out, the last time her daughter drove off with Fiona, she got into a massive wreck and lost her leg. So, just that's just a point of sensitivity. You know, people that are around you, some of them may have experienced things that you don't know about, some you may know about, but we always have to be sensitive to the things that may be reminders of stuff that people don't really want to think about. And we need to be very generous and gentle with them when they have those moments of panic that seem out of place to us and seem maybe too much. It's just how our bodies and our minds react when we're reminded of things that were very unpleasant. So let's meet again soon and move forward with the story. Great things are happening.